Mrs. Obama, I did it. I found the best Shaco build. Holy mother of God.
I got you, homie.
Later, bitch. One, oh.
Fight back! Fight back!
One, oh.
Woo! Got him. Let's go! Nice! Hey guys, I'm the Clone and I welcome you to the most insane Shaco build that I've played with this season. And it's because no matter what you play against, you'll be able to dominate. This build is insanely powerful, yet no one realizes it exists, and that's because it's perfectly hidden in plain sight. This build combines the most powerful items on Shaco in the perfect order to make you stronger than with any other build at all stages of the game. And to do so, you must do the following. First, you want to take the Dirk, because it's the best early game assassin item, period. And for its cost, it gives you an insane amount of AD, and then it also provides you with lethality, which is literally overpowered early game when everyone is squishy. Then you want to take Boots and the Sheen. The Sheen is literally the best item on Shaco in terms of synergy, as it empowers your backstab by an insane amount. And because it only has a 2 seconds cooldown, you can use it multiple times while fighting someone, making you the best bursting anyone to 0 HP in only a few seconds even early game. Then you want to finish the Berserker's Greaves. And because these boots are insane on Shaco, the second you get the Berserkers, you'll be able to literally melt every single jungle camp in 5 seconds. And you can do the same with enemy champions. You jump in, get a backstab with the Sheen's insane damage, then you shred through them with the lethality you get from the Dirk. And because of the Berserker's Greaves insane DPS plus your E's slow passive, not only will it be impossible for anyone to get away from you, but no one will be able to 1v on you either. Now you see how strong this build is in the early game, but it's not even close to being all, because the build gives you an even better power spike after you complete the Essence River as your first full item. And now you'll have the Dirk, Berserker's Greaves and the Essence River, which is by far the best item on Shaco, not only because of how strong the Spellblade passive becomes when upgraded from the Sheen, but simply because of how the Essence River is an insanely cost efficient item, meaning that not only you'll get even more stats for the gold you pay, but you'll also get 2 insanely good passives. The second one giving you mana back whenever you proc the Spellblade, making you have infinite mana in the late game when you'll have to split push and can't use the jungle's item mana regeneration. Next, you want to go for the Collector. But wait, before you go ahead and call me out for saying that the Collector is a trash item, I have to tell you something. We're still in the early to mid game, and not only is lethality OP then, but the Collector has one of the best synergies with the Essence River. But also because this is a full crit build, you must go for the Collector, as it's the only crit item that is being built from the Dirk. But there's actually another reason for why I want to go for the Collector, the Infinity Edge. It'll be your 4th item. And because of the Collector, now you have 60% crit, therefore the Infinity Age's passive plus the Collector's passive and lethality plus the Essence River will make you one-shot literally, and I mean literally everything and everyone. Just look at these one-shots. With these 3 items, you'll become unstoppable. And with this combo, never ever use your E. Jump in, use the Hail of Blades, like that you'll kill anyone in 2 to 3 attacks as long as you crit. And only if they get away with 1 HP, then use your E. Or actually, I have a confession to make, guys. I knew about this for quite a long time, but I never shared it with you. And this right here, what I will show you right now, is the most insane combo tip that you will ever get. By executing this combo exactly the way I tell you to, not only you'll be able to one-shot anyone, but you'll get your E crit on anyone guaranteed in less than 0.3 seconds. And it's because of the way Shaco's E works. Shaco's E will always have a minimum travel time, no matter how close you are to your target. Meaning that with this build you'll never have to jump in, attack once, twice, then E with a crit for a one shot. No. With this combo, you jump in, attack once, then use your E, then attack again. And because of how fast you are, and because of the E having that travel time, you can literally attack again while your E is traveling towards your enemy. Meaning that you can attack once, E, attack again, and your E will land only after your second attack, making you able to literally one-shot anyone in less than 0.3 seconds. This is the fastest Shaco combo that exists. And if you want to one-shot like shown in the footage, you must use it. Use it and delete everyone with it. Now that I shared my secret with you, we move on to the 5th item, which is the Lord Dominic's Regards. This item is insane and perfect for the mid to late parts of the game. Why? Simple. Percentage armor penetration. It's the best at against anything that has around 100 armor, and trust me, everyone has that much armor later in the game, even an AD carry that bought literally none. That's why the Lord Dominic's is perfect as a 5th item. And lastly, for a 6th item, I usually like to give you a few choices, but not this time. Travori Quick Blades are the best option no matter what. And it's because not only they fit with the build's full glass cannon playstyle, but they also help you reset your Q as fast as possible in teamfights, enabling you to go for 1 one-shot, 2 one-shots, 3 one-shots and so on in only a few seconds. This is the build. The clone build. Here you can see there's no mythic item in it, and it's because mythic items are too expensive to get them in the early game to power spike, and if you do, they always come with strings attached. The Kraken Slayer has a garbage power spike, Gale Force 90 seconds cooldown on active, Dusk Blade mediocre at best, Prowler's Claw clunky, it gives no crit, Eclipse not enough damage, gives no crit, Stridebreaker not enough damage. You must one-shot anyone at all stages of the game, and this build does just that. The Essence River Collector, Infinity Age, these 3 items combined are your mythic item. The build order gives you a power spike every time you get an item. Just look at these one-shots again. And I'm not even that insanely fed. This is by far the most optimized and best Shaco build that I've played with this season. And because I don't remember ever being such a powerful full crit build that would be able to destroy and one-shot anyone at all stages of the game ever existing. And also because of the following runes, because of the main keystone being Hell of Blades, and by using the insane combo that I've just told you about, you can delete anything. Also a quick side note, I've always preferred taking Precision secondary, but hey, if you feel more comfortable with Sorcery or Inspiration, you can actually go for it. I'm pretty sure Precision is the best, but the other 3 is most definitely work as well. And now that I've talked about the build and why it's so good, let me show you exactly how I play with it, to not only pretty much win every single game, but to also be the one who carries your team. Starting from always getting first blood, to split pushing and solo carrying teamfights 1 versus 9. And for that, I'll be showing you the most insane game that I've had in a really long time. And the game is not insane because of the numbers of kills that I had, or because I pentakill 1v5, or any of those things. This game is the best and most insane game that I've had in a really long time because of how I was literally playing 1v9 and I was still able to do almost everything right, and I used the best strategies to try and carry my team. Also, this game is the perfect example of how because of this build, I was able to dominate. Because this is the right build for almost any situation. Oh, and by the way guys, if you enjoyed this video so far and want to see me do more, don't forget to leave a like and to sub if you have not done yet so.
Nice.
Anyways, to begin I'm doing a classic start. I do the red buff straight into an invade. And the reason why I don't start with my chickens is very simple. If I start with the chickens, not only am I wasting a lot of precious time, but I'm also not getting level 3. And what I mean by that is, if I do the chickens red buff into the enemy blue buff, I'd still be level 2. And that's because the chickens don't give enough XP. That's why I do red buff, blue buff into enemy frog. Like this, not only have I taken their jungle by the time they get to the blue buff, but I'm also level 3. And on top of it, because the frog gives HP and mana back when you take it, you'll always be full HP with a box of cooldown, ready to get that first blood. And when it comes to starting on the other side, you can do blue buff into your frog into the enemy red buff, if you wanna play it more safe. Or if you feel more aggressive, you can do blue buff into enemy red buff into enemy Krugs. But you have to be careful with that one because you lose a lot more HP. Anyways, always do this strat guys. Unless you're playing in Challenger where the enemy jungler might realize what you're doing and start to vertical jungle, you will always win in this situation. Heck, even if you don't get a first blood on them, you still took their blue buff and frog, then you can rotate for the skull crab and so on. And in this game you can see how I'm using the vision system to my maximum advantage. I go behind the wall and jump in. But first, let me give you another example of how the vision system works, so you can always use it 100% to your advantage. In this other game, I'm doing the exact same start, except this time the enemy Karthus realized that I'm in his jungle, so he falls back. But because of the ward I place in his jungle, I know that he's going for the top side skull crab, so I also go for it. Pause right there. Can you see what's happening? That's right, he's doing the skull crab. But you know what's actually happening? What's actually happening is that I know where he is while he has no idea where I am. And it's because he didn't see me directly. And look closely to what I do. I do not go straight towards him, because like that he would see me. Instead I go around. And that's because bashes act exactly like walls, or smoke grenades for instance, meaning that you cannot see anything on the other side if one is in front of you, nor enemies can see you if you're behind one. That's why I use the bash to conceal me. I place a control word inside it and then a box, and I wait for Carthus to literally walk inside it. I don't even have to use my Q and he's gone. Silas ends up following up, and look how instead of queuing straight into him, I instead use the wall and I zone his path towards his tower, forcing him to go around, ultimately resulting in us getting him as well. And from that point on, I go for both the skull crabs and the game was over. Anyways, let's get back to the first game now. As I said, I used both the vision system and the wall to blink closer to Gragas. I place the box inside the bash so he won't see it and I attack him. Stop again right there. Rewind. My play idea was perfect, but my micro was horrible. Not only does Gragas go inside the bush and sees the box, alerting him of my presence, but I also don't get my backstab with crit on him. But look, he's level 2, and it's because he took his red buff into chickens and wolves, and because of how hard it is to clear the chickens, he's low HP now. But what do I do after my failure? I keep attacking him, and because of my E's passive he's perma slowed, and with the red buff I melt him. I ignite him for good measure and then E at the last moment for a perfect execute. He pulls a pro flash and he's on his way to meet Harambe. Classic moment. And for those who are not familiar with the classic E flash joke, basically every time I E someone who's 1 HP, they flash. And I have no idea why, but it just always happens. Anyways, my point with this play is, with Shaco, even if you're really bad and feel like you cannot be impactful, look at how bad I played here, and I still got a first blood. And that's because I trust my damage. I know that by doing what I do, I have the upper hand, and I use it to win the situations. Always with Shaco, play as aggressive as you can in the early game. No matter how bad you are, you can win all these moments, because if you don't, then you'll never get to dominate. And this perfectly ties into what I'm doing next. I'm always looking for opportunities. I still have to wait for the skull crab to spawn, so I check the lanes and I notice this Silas has pushed Wukong. Now look closely at how I gank, and this is the best way you can gank with Shaco in the early game. Never ever waste your Q if an enemy has pushed your allies so hard. Always simply just walk up to them. Shaco is literally one of the most powerful champions in the early game. Literally just walk up to people and attack them.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
With your E's passive you'll hard slow them, and just look at this Silas. Pause right there again. Did you notice? He's extremely slowed and he flashes. But since you capture Q and E, you can simply follow up on them with Q. It's as simple as that, and since he was slow, I literally deleted him. Anyways, what am I doing now? You're right, I'm going for the skull crab, and I'm glad we're on the same page. Always focus those bastards in the early game, and since Rat buffed the smite, so now you can also break the skull crab's shield with it, you won't have to worry anymore when they run circles around your boxes. Next, I'm forcing a gank on the mid lane, but Echo has the bash warded, and I played this really bad. I let my Serak die and I failed to get Echo. Gragas is here as well and my only option is to fall back, but I know Echo has no wards in this bash, so I fake falling back and I use the wall to extend my jump, and again, just like with Gragas at level 3, I don't even get a backstab, but I attack him, and because of the Hail of Blades plus the easy execute, I get him. Also, he does pull a classic flash, but that's besides the point. What I want to highlight here is, no matter how bad you play with Shaco, you can still dominate just because of how strong Shaco can be in the early game. Always play as aggressive as you can, be as awkward as you can, and always pull the most unexpected plays you can. Next, I'm going for the bot lane jungle, but just as I want to recall, I realize that my bot lane is fighting, so I seize the opportunity and gank. Ashe dies, but I do get a jinx. Meanwhile, I'm just about to heal level 6. In these situations, if you have smite and just need 1 or 2 more minions to heal level 6, you can smite a cannon to surprise the enemy. In this instance, I'm not doing that, but I still get level 6 from the minions that died besides me. I use my clone to dodge Senna's W, and therefore I also managed to get Senna. Thresh dies as well, but it's fine. Now because I have my clone and I don't want to waste it, also because I believe Gragas is nowhere near, I get a dragon. Now I get back to base with 3000 gold in the first 6 minutes and a half. And with this gold I buy the Dark, which, as I've already mentioned, is the best assassin item in the early game, the Sheen because, let's get real, we all know why, and the Berserker's Greaves. I'm always prioritizing the full version of the boots if I can get them in the early game. Not only because with them you can farm the jungle insanely fast, but also because you can melt anyone you jump on, especially when combined with the Dark and the E's slow passive. Now, as you can see, I'm yet again only focusing on the most important objectives. I only get the buffs and then the Herald. I get a Skull Crab and I'm looking to use the Herald bot lane, but I'm seeing that the mid laners are fighting, and I know I might just be able to help Zeract. I jump in and Deco dodges my E with his ult, and then I unfortunately end up dying like Sylas. Request Katin Pace, but no matter. As the second I spawn, I see a perfect opportunity on the bot lane. They're playing super aggressively, therefore in these situations always look to punish cocky enemies. I jump in on Jinx, and see how I crit her for 400 damage and then basically one-shot her? That's why this build is so powerful. Sneaky Senna gets away and I jump on the Sylas. I drop a box in the middle of them and end up saving my life with it, as I both block Senna's W and Gragas' E. But then, just before leaving, Sylas gets really cheeky, and even though he gets trash, I get a shutdown on him. Now, after I get back to base, I get the Essence River, and I have to use the Herald, otherwise it will expire. And if that ever happens to you, always try to use it on the lane that you think has the better chance to push. In this situation though, I'm being really cheeky as I use the Herald on the top lane, and while it gets there, I take my red buff. And Sylas is way ahead of Wukong. Therefore, he has trust in his power, and he wants to stop the Herald. But instead, we end up using it as bait. And as Wukong knocks him up with his ult, I literally one-shot him. Just look at it again. Look at how tanky Sylas is. He's got around 600 HP more than me, and I just one-shot him with ease. And while Wukong is the top lane tower, I rotate mid and together with Xerath we punish Shaco, and I just get another shutdown. Although I do have to be honest and mention that Xerath has been losing the mid lane really hard, and by taking the tower Echo just got 5 plates on top of the tower takedown gold. Anyways, bot lane is actually casually losing, therefore I try to gank and help them out, but I managed to fall back. Anyways, after going back to base, I get a collector and try to farm something. But what is Gragas doing? I backstab him and he smite heals for 400? A bit much I would say, but okay. I smite for the movement speed and melt him in 2 seconds. But then instead of getting away, I die in a rather magnificent way. Anyways, it's not that bad. As the second I spawn, I look for my top side jungle and the Herald. I'm always trying to focus the objectives. But then again, someone is casually wandering through my jungle. It's as if all my laners lost and the enemies have full control of the map. Anyways, what is Sylas doing? I dodge his bullshit item, and just like with Gragas, I ended up melting him in 2 seconds. But I see everyone from the enemy team is mid lane. It's as if everyone in my team lost their lane, and the enemies are all grouped up mid to end of game. Anyways, let's look at that Jinx. And again. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? That's right, she flashed. Oh, never mind, there she goes. I was afraid I didn't hear her as she flashed. Anyways, let me just go ahead real quick and say, what a classic. And what do I do now? I leave, but I fake leave. Because with Shaco as teamfights drag along, you must always play around them. Look at how I'm not just randomly going inside their jungle. Instead, I'm strategically positioning myself behind them so I can jump in at any time if needed. And in this instance, it is needed. Slow-mo again on that Echo. He has his ult. What is the fastest way for me to kill him? One backstab into E crit and he's done, right? Wrong. The fastest way to kill someone with Shaco, of course besides the most insane Shaco one-shot 1 million IQ combo, it is just to auto-attack twice. And that's because Echo's low HP, and I don't need to use that insane combo on him. Because again, if I were to use my E, I would need to wait for it to cast and travel towards Echo, giving him more time to react and ult. Now I use my second import auto-attack with Hail of Blades on Senna, and guess what? She flashes. But wait a second. That's right, I E her. What a classic. Next, I also last hit Gragas and then we move on to take the Herald. Take my red buff and stones, but instead of going for the rest of my jungle, I take the top lane minions. Always prioritize lane minions over jungle camps, especially after minute 20. Not only because they give much more XP and gold, but also because you're essentially pushing by doing so. I go back to base now. I get the Infinity Age and again, I take another buff. Meanwhile, I see that Echo's coming towards me. And check this out.
Check this out.
1, 2. Now I want to secure the dragon, and the best way to secure objectives is to look for picks. I Q and sneak between them, getting to the enemy red buff and taking it. Now I'm literally behind all of them while my team is taking the dragon. And what do? That's right. While the enemy team is looking to steal the dragon, I jump behind them. Wait a second. Isn't it actually kind of crazy how every time I ask you something, you always answer the way I expect you to? It's like you're not even a real person. Or maybe I'm not real. I mean, think about it. If you've never seen me, for you I'm just a voice behind the screen. Am I even alive? Anyways, I gotta stop doing acid. My point with the flanking maneuver is, in these situations, it's really unexpected for enemies to see you coming from behind them. It's like you spawned in their base. Either way, I one-shot Silas and Gragas, and then we move to take the Baron. But unfortunately we cannot take it because my team really doesn't have the damage, HP or possession to do so. The problem in this situation is, the enemy team has pushed all our lanes, and they're looking to close us into our base. Weird, it's as if whole lane's lost and now we're super behind. I'm probably just imagining, it'll be fine. Anyways, I one-shot Senna, which is kind of funny considering she's playing tank, and actually, I've got something to say to all you Senna mains out there. Mate, if you're playing her full tank, stop it. Get some help. Anyways, after they saw what I did to Senna, they quickly skate around from mid lane like ducklings, and they get to split push the bot lane with a Herald, and use the box as a ward. Always use your boxes as wards in the late game. I mean, you literally have a ward on a 12-second cooldown that lasts for 40 seconds and that can also zone certain areas if needed with its sphere. Always drop that box down at checkpoints, especially when you're split pushing. Also, if you use your detector right after spawning the Herald, its cooldown will immediately reset, so you can use it twice over. Anyways, as I make my way bot lane with my second use of the Oracle Lances, I spot Silas. And I think he's doing this thing called playing the game, but I'm not a fan of it, so I just murdered him in cold blood. And Echo's there as well, but before we witness Echo's execution, I have to address something. Something that I haven't talked about throughout the entire game, and you might have not even noticed it, to be honest. And that's the team scores. Yes, 20-20 you might say, pretty balanced. You have a decent chance to win this game, the clone. I gotta give you that. And yes, I agree with you. We do have a decent chance to win this game. Except if you look closely, I'm literally the only guy in my entire team who has kills. What the fuck, guys? And wait. You might say, you kill-stealing piece of shit. But please listen to me. Every time there was a fight, I was there to one-shot them. I was there to be the one who engages. I was the one. All the kills belong to me. Anyways, good job, guys. You got your first solo kill. Now I split push the bot lane and I really do mess up here. I try to queue towards Silas and they Gragas, thinking that he'll walk towards his tower to try and save him, but he doesn't do that and I basically die like a bitch. Either way, I do get Lord Dominic's regards and look to complete and avoid my last item. It's full glass cannon time, baby. Meanwhile, almost everyone in my team dies. It's as if all lanes lost, and no matter how hard they try to help them, even though I took all the kills, they still just cannot do anything on their own. Anyways, don't worry guys, we scale late game. Now that I spawned, I go straight for the Baron, as I know I can melt it, especially as Wukong is tanking it. And as we all know, the guy that's tanking the Baron, he does 50% less damage to it. That's why Shaco can take the Baron so fast, because you use the clone to tank it, and you yourself are able to do 100% of your damage to it. Anyways, afterwards I can finally use my split pushing strategy. I know that both teams are fighting over the dragon right now, but I really don't trust them in a fair 5v5, unless I can pick at least 2 enemies off before the fight even starts, and in this situation they are way too grouped for me to be able to even do something like that. That's why I split push the top lane instead. League of Legends is a perfect game without any bugs or problems that ruin it. Anyways, after they get the dragon, I have to fall back as I don't want to get 5-man bombed. But as I see Echo's the only one on top, I use the detector to make sure there are no wards and I jump him. And then after the Thanos snap, I take the inhibitor. Also here I make my second greatest mistake in the entire game. And underestimate Jinx's power and try to go for one of the towers as well. And this bitch is farming me, man.
I really need help right now. I mean, this bitch is farming me, bro. Oh my god, dude.
I understood that reference.
I tried to run away by zoning her with a box, but League of Legends is a perfect game without any bugs or problems that ruin it. My team dies again. Really unexpected, to be honest. Anyways, what I'm trying to do now is communicate with them. And I know that sometimes it's hard to try and talk with a species like the solo queuer that hasn't really developed any basic communication skills yet. But try to speak in stupid to them at least and say, monkey apart weak, apes together strong. And hopefully they'll understand you, because there's no way in hell I can carry this game if all we do is jerk around and not push the side lanes together. I mean, I'm literally the only reason why we took any towers, and they actually listened to me, as we'll group up mid and bot trying to push. We are somewhat in a shitty situation as we cannot really force any towers, but I know what I have to do and who to focus. I know if they get distracted mid or bot lane, I can sneak on one of the towers and open their base up even more. But here I make my third mistake. I know I have to focus Jinx and she's the strongest from their team, but the all bot items to counter me, they literally all have either Zhonya's or Guardian Angel, except for Senna, but she's playing tank. Stop it. Anyways, what happens is I see Jinx out of position and I don't want to blame anyone, but Ashe lands her ult and she kinda debates me as I seize the opportunity. I insta-kill her, or at least I get her GA down, but instead of being able to protect myself with the clone and get away, Gragas does that. And I die. The rest is probably obvious, but I'll tell you anyways. My whole team dies.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all?
Now they're inside our base. And what do? I use the home guard movement speed and I jump from Fog of War in, and I go straight for the Jinx. But whoa, there's no way I can catch her. She's way too fast. But Wukong, what the fuck are you doing, mate? You don't even have your ult up. Holy shit, man. Anyways, look at their base. They must have forgot. Fast, we cannot let them recall. I jump in on Jinx, I drop the nuke on her. Boom! Next. Get this fat bitch off me, man. But my whole team dies again. 1, 2, 3. Senna's out. Navori reset my Q, Gragas. 1, 2, out. Echo kills my clone. He dumb, man. And I run towards their base, as this is the only chance we have to end. Fuck! But they're all dead. Alright, no problem. I take the Drake, and oh my lord, they die again to Echo. Like, come on, man. We resetted, and maybe if we take the Baron. Man, the stakes are high. You know I'm stressed out. I even missed my Q at the red buff. I tried to force a fight to the Baron. Maybe we can catch Senna. Never mind. Oh, but there's the Echo. 1, 2, next. Please don't die, guys. 4 levels behind me, Gragas does have my HP, 2 abilities. Balanced. Either way, I get away. But my team. Oh my team, man. I try to win as much time as I can for them to respawn. And maybe Zra can help. I at least get back to base. Maybe you can hold. Fuck. And we lost, man. Anyways, GG. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that this game is a heartbreak, but god damn, it was a hardcore game. The thing is, even though this game was a defeat, I wanted to show it to you guys, because I thought we can learn a lot from it. And that is, the only way to win in League of Legends, which is a perfectly balanced, bug-free, lovely game, is through the power of love and friendship. Either way, besides that, I think this game really did show us the true power of the clone build. And thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope you had a laugh and learned something at the same time. News regarding the channel: I just finished with my side projects and I should be free for the next few weeks. And that means that I will be streaming again. I cannot really give you guys any exact date right now, but I'll be announcing the stream in one of my next videos. Thanks a lot for 6k subs, and to those who are new here, if you want to see the channel grow and together with the entire Shaco community, don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe if you've not done yet so. I'll always do my best to provide you guys with the best content that I can offer. And as always, until next time, stay safe.